Tonight on Podcast Exposed, we take you on a journey to uncover the dark side of the popular podcast, Buddy Shotz. While the hosts, Matt and Mike, may seem like good friends and generally nice guys, in reality, that couldn't be further from the truth. We will show you stunning, newly discovered footage, and later we will confront the buddies in an effort to finally put a stop to their shocking and sickening behavior. All done here tonight on Podcast Exposed, Buddy Shotz. Friend or fiends. On each episode of Buddy Shotz, Matt and Mike generally treat each other with kindness and appear to be well behaved, but our hidden cameras have captured the real moments that show the disgusting truth. The following clip is real. We must warn you, due to the disturbing nature of this footage, viewer discretion is advised.
Hey Matt, wanna get pissed off? No? Well, check this out, man.
Why would you do that?
Because I wanted to.
Well, now I am getting pissed off. Why would you even ask me a question?
Because it was funny.
What do you think of this?
Later that day, the disgraceful behavior went from bad to worse, resulting in a near-death experience for one of the buddies.
Help me! Help me!
Oh, man, I'm so tired of Mike bossing me around.
Matt, I can't breathe!
Pipe down in there and watch an animal!
Luckily, the man who claims Vince Frost stepped in to help Mike in his time of need.
I still remember when I went into that room that afternoon. I thought he was dead. His eyes and mouth were wide open. I'll never forget the look in his eyes. He clutched at the sheets. It looked like he'd seen hell.
Then we uncovered the buddies relieving each other a series of disturbing voicemails. Here are just a couple of examples.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message.
Hey, I want to tell you something, okay? And I want to leave a message for you right now. Because again, it's 10:30 here in Ohio on a Wednesday. And once again, I've made an ass of myself trying to get to a phone to call you at a specific time. When the time comes for me to make the phone call, I stop whatever I'm doing and I go and I make that phone call. At 11 o'clock in the morning in Ohio, and if you don't pick up the phone, at 10 o'clock at night. And you don't even have that goddamn phone turned on. I want you to know something, okay? I'm tired of playing this game with you. I'm leaving this message with you to tell you you have insulted me for the last time. You have insulted me. You don't have the brains or the decency as a human being. I don't give a damn that you're 40 years old or 42 years old or that you're a buddy or that your mother is a thoughtless pain in the ass who doesn't care about what you do as far as I'm concerned. You have humiliated me for the last time with this phone. And when I come out there next week, I'm going to fly out there for the day just to straighten you out on this issue. I'm going to let you know just how disappointed in you I am and how angry I am with you that you've done this to me again. You've made me feel like shit, and you made me feel like a fool over and over and over again. And this crap you pull on me with this goddamn phone situation that you would never dream of doing to your mother, and you do it to me constantly and over again. I'm going to get on a plane, and I'm going to come out there for the day, and I'm going to straighten your ass out when I see you. Do you understand me? I'm going to really make sure you get it. And I'm going to get on a plane, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to come home. So you better be ready Friday, the 20th, to meet with me, so I'm going to let you know just how I feel about what a rude little pig you really are. You are a rude, thoughtless little pig, okay? You know just how I feel about what a rude...
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. At the tone, please record your message.
Has any podcast ever worked with you? No! I'm behaving like this because you treat me with no consideration. I treat you with every kindness, but you will never be happy. Fuck you! Get the fuck away from me. But my podcast is important, alright? Now you have one more chance, and I mean it now. Fucking go if you want. Well, I will give you one more chance. You make me want to smoke! You fuck my day up, care about yourself, fucking try to destroy me. You should just fucking smile and podcast with me! Because I deserve it! But you don't care. me because you know you're wrong. And if you will not fucking admit that, then I will make your goddamn life miserable. Now I'm tired of you giving me shit, or giving me a sour look, or saying, I'm mean! What the fuck is that? This is mean! Get it? You get it now? What mean is? Get it? Last 2 years has been a fucking gravy train for you. You know what? I'll put you in a fucking rose garden, you bud! You understand that? Because I'm capable of it. You understand that? Get a fucking restraining order.
Stay tuned to the end of the episode where Matt and Mike will finally be confronted with this painful truth.
Okay, it's Buddy Shots 179. Football week. Was it divine? I guess we'll find out.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Any given Sunday, Three Little Pigskins.
In honor of football's return.
Yeah. I'm like,
football week.
Passing in the name of. So let's go ahead and go over the poll here. I'm going to let you guess again. I'm like, guess again.
I would guess no one has seen Three Little Pigskins.
Like, and not even us. No, yeah, like our viewers. Yeah, you'd be right on that.
And I guess above 50% have seen Any Given Sunday.
Nobody.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was wrong.
I think our audience on Instagram and YouTube that watch this probably aren't big sports people. So
They're not all jocks?
yeah. Yeah, because we are.
Like us?
Yeah. I'm a fairly new football watcher. That's right, you. No. You're a lifer.
A lifer.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah. For better or worse. Yeah, that's for sure.
Don't get me started.
That's for true. So I have a gift for you.
What? What have I done to deserve this?
So,
dude,
I went to Jungle Gyms and found this.
Dude, amazing.
Wise Guy root beer. So,
have you tried one?
No, I didn't try it because I thought if you
yeah.
wanted to, we could try it on the podcast here. I'm like, this seems to be like an ongoing thing. Every week I'm like, no shit, he's got the tricks of the trade showing you right now. This probably works better when the thing doesn't move. You're trying to, should I hold it for you or?
Yeah. It worked.
Nice.
That's teamwork.
Yeah.
Still frothy.
Yeah. So this time it's
frosty.
actually it's something that like I've tried before that I like root beer, whereas like
not some weird bullshit.
Not sour, super sour shit, or like last week was like jalapeno wolf shit. I was like, what is this? Cool. I guess we'll see. I'm assuming because we'll probably talk about Cheers first. So it smells like root beer.
That's real good.
Yeah. It's pretty classic root beer.
Yeah. Better than mug.
Yeah. I don't know what the correlation is between Three Little Stooges, Three Stooges, and
I think there's still lots of stuff that still has their brand. There's
but like as far as root beer,
yeah.
There is a short called like three beers instead of three bears or whatever.
Three little beer or three
little root beers. Yeah, like I mean, the Three Stooges are still,
I know on Tim Heidecker's podcast they drink Three Stooges coffee.
Yeah, they have a lot of merchandising, that's for sure. I just
keep the brand alive.
Kind of wondering what the correlation was, but I guess it doesn't have to have a correlation.
It tastes like Curly.
Curly's ball sweat. So
I've been watching lots of Three Stooges lately.
Yeah,
and I love them.
Yeah,
as I think you do too. But I was thinking like how weird it would be if you had to describe it to someone who didn't know what they were about. Like, they're three guys who are always doing everything together, but one of them's just real mean.
Yeah.
And hurts the others too all the time.
Yeah, it's like...
Moe's like the meanest man alive.
Right.
It's so funny.
And it's like... Yeah, they're all like shorter than everyone else. But like...
Sometimes they're brothers, sometimes they're not.
Sometimes they're just acquaintances that like work together and live together. But yeah, it's like a 100-something freaking scenarios.
Yeah, so many. Some of my favorite ones are where they influence other people to act like Stooges.
Yeah.
That's always pretty satisfying. But Three Little Pigskins,
yeah,
I was hoping for a little more football action.
Yeah, it kind of only happens in the last little bit.
Like last 3 minutes
Right.
of the football game, which was the best part. But what did you think of Three Little Pigskins?
I'd seen it before, so my favorite part happens at the very end of this entire... But, I mean, it's... You probably know what
The butt play?
Well, no, but it is funny. But one of my top 5 gags of all time for Three Stooges is when they are trying to block the extra, like, the pass. And, like, Larry, they lift him up so it bounces up into the thing. And I was like, has that ever happened before? Like,
it was... I
was cracking up.
I watched it a couple times. It's like it was going to miss
right
on its own.
Oh, totally. Not even close.
Score.
Yeah, so that's what's like even funnier. But it's like, how bad was that guy? It didn't get close. He wasn't even that far, and he kicked it, and it was like lower than shit.
Yeah. Something like that did happen once, but it was in baseball, where Jose Canseco. Have you seen that? Jose Canseco.
Something like that happened, but it was in baseball.
Well,
so
he was running out to catch like a fly ball. And he was at the wall, and it bounced off his head and went over the wall. It's one of the funniest bloopers of all time.
Like it bounced into the field goal.
Or his head came off like a naked gun, remember
God.
that? Anyways.
Also, this is like a thing that I've seen in multiple of these where like Curly is randomly just smoking a cigar. There's no rhyme or reason like where he got it from. And they're like poor, but they have like he's smoking a cigar, which is like. Then again, I think like back then it seemed like cigars were like
they were common.
They were everywhere, whereas now it's more something where it's like
a luxury item,
right? Yeah, kind of like crab.
Yeah, and root beer.
Yeah.
Also notable is Lucille Ball is in this. Young Lucy.
She's on the poster for this, which I was like, holy shit.
Nice. She's almost unrecognizable. Like, she was so young. This was like 20 years even before her kind of like hit first breakout with the Lucy show. So.
Right. This helmet is like high off his head. I guess these helmets were ridiculous because they were literally they're like the padding that would go inside an actual helmet. Like 20 years before actual helmets or something. Like, because the padding now is like way more,
And their numbers are what, like 1/2 and H2O2?
Yeah, H2O2 question mark for Curly and half for Larry. And I was like,
nice little gag.
I'm surprised we haven't talked about the dummy play.
Dude, every time they use dummies in
the dumb waiter,
the best.
like everyone's falling down this dumb waiter.
It was so good.
Like every single one of them, it's like Jesus. There's a specific one of these that I took. Also, like I noticed, I never noticed this before, but when I was watching it this time, I was like, holy shit! So like this is them blocking the door, and that's them pushing it open, but it never opens.
Yeah.
So it was
continuity error. Put it on IMDb goofs.
It was like, wait a minute, I never really realized that.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite ones because like the people actually kind of get involved, like the women kind of get involved and start acting kind of like goofy too and stuff, and like they're all like freaking Myrtle-ing it up over here, and I was like, dude, this is legit. I like when, like you said, like people actually are involved and they're not just like the people at the end of this where they're like, kill them. I'm like, Jesus, which they like pull guns on them at the end and like try to fucking murder them, and I'm like, what? He's gonna commit fucking a murder here?
That's something. So I've also been watching like some Fatty Arbuckle shorts, which are like even way older than this.
Yeah.
And there's always someone pulling guns out at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
murder and suicide is like a huge like,
even like
comedy thing back then.
The short is like Fatty does laundry, and then somehow by the end someone pulls a
Someone's
gun
trying
out.
to
Like,
murder him. Yeah.
It's almost like the gun situation in this country has always been that way.
I think the thing is back then it was played for laughs, and now it's not because people are getting fucking murdered as kids in schools every 5 seconds.
You can get shot in the butt a whole bunch of time and just run away and be fine.
Yeah. I'm like, wonder why they don't do that now in movies. Throwing the football around and Curly hides it on his back.
That's good.
He's like, gag. It's like, hey. Yeah, that
It
was
says
one
here
thing.
Curly broke his leg riding down the dumbwaiter. I don't know if
Jesus.
I believe that or not, but and Larry Fine lost a tooth when a punch was mistimed. They really do hit the hell out of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of that would be fake. Like, I don't any of the facts, because they actually hit each other with like actual fucking shit and stuff. So it wasn't like that was like one of the reasons. I mean, among other things, why Curly pretty much had to stop is he ended up fucking having a stroke and shit, and it was due to like drinking and smoking, and also like all the fucking times he got hit in the fucking head and shit.
Yeah.
That's why Shemp had to come back, because he was pretty much like, I'm done with show business and all this shit. So
Just got real.
rest in peace. All four actually. All three. I'll let you decide which one I don't want to rest in peace. Rest in piss. Yeah, it's this was a line I don't understand. Maybe you can. Oh, so you're a minor. No, I'm 36. Larry's a minor. He's 44. I went, what? Is it just them being stupid? Like, I was like...
You're like, I wonder if these Three Stooges...
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand the joke. I was like, oh. It was, like, dumb on, like, 15 levels. So I was like, eh. Did you also see where they just randomly pushed a car down a hill and it just never talked about it again? They, like, push it out of the way, and it's like, okay, so somebody's car is just fucked.
Yeah.
I was like,
Or
wait,
someone's
what?
gonna get creamed.
Yeah. Because I've seen this short a lot back when Leslie Nielsen used to host this, like, NYUK, like, as a professor, like, Neok University for Three Stooges, and he would, like, kind of do gags and talk about, like, oh, the Stooges being geniuses with, like, all that kind of stuff as a professor.
Awesome.
Like, and, like, they would play the shorts, and they played the shorts still a lot on, like, MeTV and, like, other channels.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
cool.
like, but it's like, I remember seeing this one. I think the one that's probably seen most by everyone is Disorder in the Court or whatever, because that one was, like, on every compilation, like, 4 shorts or whatever, and it was like, that was one, because for a while I think it was, like, literally, like, in the free, like, anybody could put it on anything, kind of like how anybody could put, like, Night of the Living Dead, their own version. So
That's great, man. I'm glad the Stooges are still around in our hearts.
yeah. Yeah, sound off in the comments if you are a Stooge fan or if you've ever watched Stooges or anything, because I'd be interested to see. I guess people already said they hadn't seen Three Little Pigskins, but just because they hadn't seen this one doesn't mean that they've never seen a Three Stooges short. Because
Maybe they'll get inspired to watch them.
maybe. You never know what inspires in the hearts of men. So, yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this one. I've seen it a lot, and it's more so, it's hard, it's not that there's not a lot to talk about, but it's kind of like,
There's not a lot to talk about.
I lied. It's more so, like, we could sit here and discuss, like, oh, how funny this was and stuff, but it's a little harder to kind of, I mean, it's more so something to watch rather than discuss.
Yeah.
Comedies are kind of harder to,
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if they brought back the days of, like, playing a short film before watching a movie, because it's just like adds to the fun.
Yeah. They would just have a short, and then a short 500 commercials, and then short trailers. So you're there for like 2 hours. Yeah. Then again, I guess back in the day, people would go there all day, because it was like some places that was the only place that had like air conditioning, so people would just hang out and literally chill.
Yeah.
They're like
and kids would play with doors.
Yeah, they're like Netflix and chill. It's like, wait a minute.
Should we get into the main event?
Yeah, sure. Why not? That sounded really enthusiastic.
My name is Will Beeman. I keep the ladies
creaming. Yeah,
like,
I'll say it. If you haven't watched now, I mean, this is 179 episodes in. Matt has a reputation
of making others do the dirty work.
Right. I mean, I have no, I guess I would say shame, but I mean, I'm not going to eat like a piece of shit on the podcast.
Well, it's funny you said that.
But like, I don't care. I'll do anything for comedy.
Any Given Sunday from
Yes.
1999.
By Oliver Stone. Or directed by, not by him. He's like, it was by me. Ensemble cast, man.
Yeah, pretty darn good cast, I would say.
Reminds me of like Independence Day, where there's like they have a ton of people
Keep popping up with people you like to see.
There is, let's see, I mean, how many people can you name from this?
Well, I'm looking right at the cast.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead. Dennis Quaid, Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J, what's his name? The dude from Vampires.
James Woods?
Jim Crow or whatever. James Woods. And then I talked to Trav about this, actually, and I didn't know two of the actors were actually ex-football players.
Dude, legends.
The coach, like the assistant coach or whatever, the offensive coordinator. And
Jim Brown, the GOAT.
Yeah, and the one dude that, like...
Shark.
You take one more hit and you're fucked.
Played by Lawrence Taylor.
Which, when Trav told me that, I was like... I was shocked that, like, the offensive coordinator was a pass, because he was an actually really great actor in this.
Well, he retired early from football to do acting, so...
he's actually good. I mean,
he's great.
But, like, the other guy, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, he wasn't horrible, but it's like you could tell that it was not, his forte or whatever. But he wasn't bad.
Not only are they, like, former players, but they're, like, literally, like, top
Legends.
10 of all time. So they're, like, true legends, and I think they're both good in this movie, like you said.
Yeah.
But there's some other players in this, too. T.O. is in it. Former Bengal.
Oh. I'm like, who?
But you left out my favorite cast member, Matthew Modine. Your boy.
Yeah, I don't know who he was. I don't know.
He was James Woods' like assistant.
Oh, okay. See, like, when you sent me that text, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I thought it was funny, but I didn't know. I was
He's
like,
so bland he didn't even recognize him in the movie.
He's bland in that other fucking movie we watched, too.
He's bad in that.
Yeah.
Cutthroat Island.
In this movie, he's, like, just a human, so... He's, like, someone with a conscience.
Charlton Heston has one scene.
Yeah, Charlton Heston. You're like, you forgot all these people that I have access to that I'm looking at right now. Obviously, well, also Al Pacino.
Dunk.
Yeah,
himself.
Dunk.
And John C. McGinley.
Yeah.
Your boy.
John Cena. And the guy that's the offensive coordinator went on to do a bunch of stuff, too. Like, he's kind of big now, but, like, back then it was kind of early in his career. I forget what his name
Aaron
was.
Eckhart.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else.
I think you covered all the...
Yeah, the big people.
Guys. Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. So you'd never seen this before, right?
No, I hadn't. I'm pretty sure we have the DVD at home because I remember the cover of, like, the fucking, the picture of the thing we sent into space on the record or whatever, the man, but it's a football player. So I'm sure that has a specific name. It's just like, man, we sent out on a record to space.
You nailed it.
A man we sent out a record
Who is that
space
me?
week. Ow.
Yeah, I didn't see this back when it first came out, but I've seen it a bunch of times. But it had been a while.
Yeah.
And I like to watch it before football season to get pumped.
Nice.
Because, spoiler alert, I really like this movie.
Nice.
And I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. For the most part, I liked it. There was definitely, like, some stuff I didn't like about it, which I'll definitely talk about here, but I'm like, which I'll never explain why. But
what was your favorite performance? If you had to pick
Al
one?
Pacino at the very end.
Yeah, he's like...
But that's not to take away from anyone else, because, like, Cameron Diaz was great as, like, the, like, daughter of the owner taking over.
She was my favorite this time watching it.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is always good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not one person that I was like, this is fucking embarrassing.
I agree. James Woods is great.
Yeah.
Playing a sleazy character.
Pretty much everybody was great. It was just, I mean, nobody can stand up to the end speech of this film. I mean, they gave it to Al Pacino, and it's like, I mean, what are you going to do?
The Inches speech?
Right,
Yeah,
what are you going to do? It's like, it's probably like top 10, if not top 5. Well, it's probably top 5 sports speeches of all time for sure.
That's my favorite.
It's really good.
I agree.
So, Dennis Quaid's good in this too.
Yeah, he's great. Totally believable as Cap. Really.
Right, as the old guy. That's well, he's not like fucking old, but he's old compared to, I guess, he's been there forever.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like this film is interesting because it like deals with stuff that they're just now starting, not just now, but like years ago they didn't really understand about, like, with wrestling too, with, like, head injuries and, like, you know, CTE and stuff like that, and, like, all that kind of stuff, like injuries to players and all that kind of stuff that, you know, like concussions, like, oh, he's had a certain number of concussions, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like they didn't
take
really...
some drugs and get back in the game.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of like what this movie's really about,
right.
is the dark side of football,
right.
the NFL specifically.
And, like, the apathy of, like, you know, having a franchise that, you know, was good at one point, but then kind of has been on its laurels and stuff. So, which Al Pacino embodies in his character.
Yeah.
But then he gets the spark back.
So this movie starts, the first game is set on September 11th, 2001, and... Did you notice that?
Off to a great start, yeah. I was like...
Oh, crap, I thought I was going to catch you off guard with that one.
No,
I never noticed that until
I knew
this time.
you were going to... Well, I didn't know you were going to bring it up, but I was thinking, oh my god.
What are the odds? That's
Right.
insane. That's so weird. I can't believe that.
Yeah. So it's like...
Especially from a movie by Oliver Stone, the like most conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
That's like his whole thing. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean...
I actually didn't even notice it till he pointed it out in his commentary.
Yeah.
Which was done before 9/11.
Right.
He was like, I wanted to set this movie a couple years in the future. Just
Well, I assume that's what happened, because nobody in their right mind would be like, September 11th had happened,
Right.
and we're gonna fucking put... Unless it had something to do with the fucking tragedy or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
And somehow it tied back into, like, you know... one of the
Did your head
characters or
explode
something.
when you saw that?
I was pretty shocked, but, like, I was also thinking, like, there's no way that they, like, filmed this, like... Yeah, like, because this came out in 99, so I was like, there's no way... Like, this was just a fucking ridiculous coincidence.
That's so insane.
That, like, you know, that happened. I mean, it's kind of like... Yeah, it's like... I mean, you could say, like, it's like when... In the trailers for Spider-Man 1, like, they showed him catching, like, in between the Twin Towers, but, like... I don't think it's even close to that, because that could happen in like, you know, like New York, but this is just a random date that was picked by Oliver Stone to put in his movie. So, and it has nothing to do with, you know, like, how would he have known? Like, you know, it's just random as fuck.
Yeah, it's like blink and you'll miss it.
Right.
Which I have all along until
You're
now.
like,
I was like, whoa.
Movie's over. But Dennis Quaid dies on the field right when the movie starts. Like, he fucking literally is like, he falls and turns like stiff as a board. And I was like,
He was like, I broke my back.
I was like, I know this is supposed to be serious, but I was cracking up before he said I broke my back, because he fucking hits the ground and he's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I broke my back. And then, like, they're like, come on, get up. And I'm like, okay. Also, did you notice that fucking what Al Pacino's fucking name is in this?
Tony D'Amato?
T. Amato.
Dude! No. Oh my god.
I was like, Pacino as T. Amato doesn't have mercy for Quaid, do you? The whole movie I was cracking up, like, what the fuck?
I will give a lecture
Yeah.
on the power of mercy.
And then he's singing. Also, then they're going through, like, quarterbacks here, because the second string comes out and he gets reamed too, and I was like, what is going on here? But that's how Jamie Foxx gets up to bat.
Yeah.
The puke tang everywhere.
Which has actually happened before in games.
Where people puke?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I assume.
So I think we need...
You're like me when I watched the games, and it was horrible. They do so
last
bad, you're
playoff
like,
game.
"Ugh!"
There's many times where I wanted to puke.
Yeah,
I think we should talk about like the football action in this movie.
yeah.
I figured you may have some thoughts on it.
Yeah, that's
There's a lot of it.
Well, that's
There's
my
5 games.
Yeah, that's my like biggest complaint about this is like not the amount of it, but like the way it was shot. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, this was like Quantum of Solace style over here for some of this, and I was like, it made me, like, whenever they would go to, like, a shot above them, like the drone shot, where, like, they're just playing, I was like, I just want to watch this part. Like, I just want to watch the football.
Or every now and then there's a slow motion shot of, like, the ball going through the air, and it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks because it's like, I've seen so many sports movies before where, like, they'll do, like, these, you know, like, shots and stuff to make it more, like... But it's like, I was just begging the cameraman to take, like, 1 or 2 steps back because they were in everyone's fucking nose the whole time. And I'm like, I understand for certain... Like, there are certain shots that it makes sense, like, towards the end when, like, it's... They want to show, like, that, like, Dennis Quaid is suffering from, like, some sort of, like, you know, issues with his vision and brain, and it's like slow motion, and it's like things are like, you know, fucking up, and same thing with Shark. But like that happens way too often just in general with the movie, like sometimes, and it's that or it's just too close. I'm like, it's weird. I don't know. It was a little disappointing.
I agree. So this is an Oliver Stone thing. He was totally out of his mind in the 90s.
I haven't really watched an Oliver Stone
pinnacle of
film
the insanity
before.
This is like an experimental film, in a lot of ways. It's like he wanted to make it feel like you're in the game, which I always hate. It's just annoying to watch. But not only that, there's just like so many random shots of like,
right? That's what I hated.
He put in it's like so over the top style wise. It's like, it's like.
I thought it was
one of the weirdest movies
okay
I've ever seen.
if they did any weird shots or anything like that when they were just, you know, when it was doing the narrative or whatever. But like during the football, it's already like pretty action packed, but then it's like it gets cranked up to like 20 for no reason.
Or like there's a shot of ghosts. Like it's so insane, and I don't hate it, but the football scenes are my least favorite part of the movie.
It's to me, I felt like it was pretty much a waste when fucking they would ruin it, ruin that football action with shitty fucking editing and effects. I was like, eh.
And it's not only the football, like even there's like no normal scenes in this movie hardly. There's crazy editing happening all the way through.
It's way more subdued.
Yeah.
But like there's plenty of scenes where like Al Pacino's just doing something and he's fine, but then there's scenes where like they're at a party and it's almost edited sort of like the football stuff, and I'm like, I kind of am fine with that because it's like, you know, they're drinking, they're doing drugs, and it's like fast paced, like Crank style or something. But like, you know, the football, like I don't know like what kind of games he's watching where he's like fucking, it's like it's like, come on, man. Like, I will say like the stuff that was effective for me is when like people were suffering from like head injuries and they had like their shit was fucked up, like Shark or Dennis Quaid, like, but the rest of that stuff could go, like, for me. And that's what kind of, you know, that was my spoiler, I guess, like my thing I talked about at the beginning where I said I had issues. That was one of my main issues.
Yeah, I definitely understand that,
which is a shame. But I have never watched an Oliver Stone film before, so I didn't know what to fucking expect. So,
dude, this is like the most extreme. I mean, he's like JFK and Nixon. There's doing similar stuff, like different film stocks and black and white mixed with color and all kinds of crazy shit like that. But this one was like so intense. But I kind of admire it. Like, I don't hate it either.
Like, I could do something shitty like that.
You could like take 5 seconds or 5 minutes of this movie and like study it for hours because there's just so much weird experimental stuff happening.
I'll just do it right now with the fucking us talking part, and people like will get like kicked off YouTube. There was a part where I was cracking up though because they put car crash effects when Jamie runs onto the field or off the field and into the fucking like sidelines, and I was like,
dude, they made Al Pacino roar like a lion.
Yeah, I was like, this movie is a fucking joke. Like, the fucking shit, like, that was putting in, it reminded me of the Super Mario Brothers live action parts where they would, like, they had somebody on the keyboard with sound effects, like, every time they would take a step, it'd be like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
And it also does the same thing with music, because there's, like, a different music cue every, like, minute.
Yeah, also, like, there's music. It's so varied in this. It's like rap, rock, country, like it's all over the place, which is fine, but it's like it's it's very interesting because
I like that.
There's
a lot.
metal and stuff because there's like kind of like the white like rock metal guys, and then there's like the black guys that are playing like rap and stuff, and it's kind of like they're not like, you know, it's not like a race thing, but it's like what their tastes are and stuff like that. So,
and it was the 90s, so there's 4 Moby songs in this.
Right, yeah.
But I counted during the credits. Guess how many songs are in this movie?
Oh, man, I think I remember looking at one point. I thought it was like 20-something, but I can't remember.
82.
What?
Yeah, that has to be like an all-time record. 82 different songs.
That's not true.
Like, get the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's like 10 discs.
It's 10 songs.
Because
I mean, if you got the soundtrack, it'd
discs.
probably only be 20 songs. Because they'd be like, sorry, even though all this was in the movie, you know, we're not going to put them all on the fucking disc. That was something that pissed me off back in the day.
I know. Like the one song you like from the movie
AVGN used
isn't
to do
on the
that
disc.
for a fucking, this is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I have
Tarzan Boy wasn't it?
a line that says Tiamato turns into a lion.
I mean, that kind of tells you what this movie is going to be
Yeah.
like when you see that. You're like, okay.
Dude takes a horrible shit. I was like,
That was
okay.
gross.
Also, like, I think we should talk about the fucking teams now, the names.
Mm-hmm.
Americans versus Sharks. I was like, was this just like I mean, Sharks is fine, but like Americans? This is like the most generic shit I've ever seen.
Well, isn't one like the Aztecs or something?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
But
Dude,
they
yeah,
wanted
it's
to
like-
use real teams.
But
And
it
the
was
NFL was
just
like,
not.
no way. And
Right.
the NFL like tried to sabotage this movie from being made for obvious reasons.
Right, because it shows the dark side.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
how fucked up everything is in the NFL. I'm like,
Well, Oliver Stone did that himself
yeah.
with the fucking editing.
And he beat us over the head with it for almost 3 hours. Like, I get the message. It's like,
Yeah.
that's kind of another thing of his. It's like, there's nothing subtle.
Yeah, oh no. Dude, the NFL blitz, a dude gets fucking NFL blitz in the mouth. He was like, fucking payback. And I was like, okay, this is like fucking, is this a prison movie? Like, Jesus. Here's my first complaint. Too many quick cuts in this.
Get ready. He said there were 3,200 shots in this movie.
I used all of them at once. Dude, Dennis Quaid cracks me up when he's in the fucking hospital. Oh, God! Cindy, will you please call that nurse? I'm a football player. They gotta pump up the volume here. I was like, dude, this is the fucking ridiculousness. Also, like, I guess I didn't catch on to this when I was, like, watching it until, like, later. But, like, this chick comes over and she's like, I'm, like, you know, I think you're so hot when I was young, when I was a kid. And, you know, and I was like, is this a fucking Lord of the Rings fantasy film? Like, who the fuck has ever been like, man, the coach is hot? And then I was talking to Trav and he's like, it was pretty obvious she was a fucking prostitute. And I was like, oh. I guess I didn't
Played
get that.
by Elizabeth Berkley.
Right, which is funny. She's almost unrecognizable in this.
I agree. And Oliver Stone was like, I wanted to put her in this movie because I loved her in Showgirls, which is like, that's a hot take, dude.
Yeah, one of the worst movies ever made.
Yep. But she's good in this.
She's great in, well, not great. She's good in Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
And it's funny to see her in this. Oh. And
But that's a great scene.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I think
like those are the best scenes in the movie.
I think it's funny because Showgirls shows like anybody in that like even Al Pacino, that movie would have probably been shit. Whereas like in this movie, you see Elizabeth Berkley's
She can
good.
be good.
She's great. You know, it's just the shitty fucking film she was in.
Shockingly bad.
Yeah, but Dunkachino makes a drunk call to his ex-wife and says "fuck" when he almost falls.
That was some good acting
Yeah, I
by
was
old
like-
Dunk.
He's driving around in an awesome car. I don't know what kind it was, but it almost looked like an Aston Martin, but I don't know if it was. Cameron and Al fight over the team being losers, failures, and his possible firing. So that's kind of like the thing here is that like Al Pacino has kind of rested on his laurels like for so long. Like that he won, he's got his ring, but then now he's just kind of like, I'm part of the dynasty. Like, you know, I know what I'm doing. You shouldn't, you know, be involved in stuff. And she's pissed because she's like, I don't want to sell this team like everyone thinks. I want to actually take it and make it good like my father wanted it to be. and all the while she's kind of struggling with her mom, who like he died of a heart attack, like because of, well, they, you know, I'm sure it was other factors, but like the stress of the fucking, you know, running this franchise and stuff. So there's definitely some stuff going on in this film. There's a couple different plot lines, but they all kind of
a couple.
Well,
this is like 10 movies stuffed into one.
But it all circles back into like, you know, the team.
Yeah.
So it's not,
and Al Pacino at the core.
I guess that's one thing that I like, is that there's not like a bunch of random shit. It's not like, you know, like obviously like people have their own personal stuff, but it all stems from this team.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, you don't have some random bullshit going off on the corner. Well, except for the plot of Al Pacino wanting to like marry a hooker for some reason.
Yeah.
He's like, "Come on, I want to go on a date for real," and she's like, "Dude, what?"
You messed up.
Yeah, I was like, you fucking played yourself, man.
Also, the thing I really admired this time was like how much Jamie Foxx's character changes throughout the course of this movie. Because he starts out like a good guy, and he becomes
like a total prick.
Right. And then at the end, like Al Pacino gives that speech, and he finally buys into being a team player. I was like, dude, awesome.
Yeah, for like probably like 70% of this movie, I hated his character because I was like, man, this guy's a total prick.
Yeah, he's horrible.
He's like a fucking asshole. He like gave up like on his girlfriend, and then they kind of reconcile and stuff towards the end. But like, he has to be dealt like some fucking harsh like life lessons here, like by like, you know, his teammates who, you know, they beat his ass, and well, they don't beat his ass. One of them does, but like, you know, like, and like he gets his like car fucking Johnny Knoxville, and just like stuff like that, where like he thinks he's like the greatest shit ever, and like that's one thing that Al Pacino, like, he may be wrong on a lot of stuff, but like Al Pacino's like, you know, I've been in this fucking game forever, and like, you know, so at one point you're not gonna have your fucking youth and stuff, and he's just like, whatever, pretty much. He's like, I'm gonna live forever and all this shit, and he's like, He's like,
he invites him over for dinner, which that's my favorite scene in the whole movie, the dinner scene, and he basically doesn't listen to anything he says at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
But his food wasn't, apparently. Jim Rome here. So let's talk about that, I guess. They fucking do like a Godzilla and take somebody and make them into like
what's his character's
a parody
name?
of an actual person.
Where is it?
But
Jack Rose.
Yeah, it's like the guy from Scrubs or whatever is playing and Payback.
Yeah.
Is playing a guy called Jack Rose. He's a complete ripoff of Jim Rome.
Yeah. And he's made to be a cuck in this movie. Like, he is totally...
He's a total asshole. Like, they fucking whoop his ass. And I was like...
He gets beat up by Al Pacino.
Right.
Like 2 feet shorter.
He's shown, like, to be, like, a complete ass. Like, he had it coming. And I'm like... Fucking assault over here.
Like, well, that's a long shot, but I will say it again.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah. And he gets his ass beat, too. So, Jamie Foxx does, like, a fucking ridiculous flippy flop into the end zone. I was just like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah. You can actually tell what's happening for that one play.
Right, for that one scene. I like it so far. I'm not loving the camera whips, and I think the camera guy needs to take 2 steps back.
There was one shot where the camera was on the ground, and like the play happens, and it like becomes an earthquake. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like the shots they'll be like funny, but then like there'll be shots where I'm like, dude, this is just fucking annoying to watch. Like, it's like, you know, Quantum of Solace chase at the beginning.
Yeah.
Totally. Also, did you see, there's like a part where they talk about Dare, and I was like, man, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
Like,
Dare, it finally worked.
Yeah.
Drugs are legal now.
So the music starts at the party, and it was like Sama de Amigo or the fucking Mask over here. I was like, dude,
Cameron Diaz.
This is legit. Yeah.
Everyone was smoking stogies. It made me want to smoke.
Jamie Foxx is talking to women, and like his girlfriend, who's like Layla Rashawn, who's playing like Vanessa Struthers, was last seen on this podcast in The Big Hit.
Oh, that's
Another
right.
Matt
Dude,
pick.
I totally forgot she was in that, but I thought she was great in this movie.
Yeah.
Really cool character.
Yeah.
What did you think? One of the weirdest things in this movie, what did you think of the weird mayor? Remember, they meet him at that reception or whatever, and he's like, "Show me some love."
Yeah,
to everyone. And
he was kind of like playing. He was kind of like Billy D, as like in fucking Batman, like the movies. I was like, okay, is this coming off kind of a little out of control here?
But one of my favorite lines was Jamie Foxx was like, "You're pretty cool too, man."
Yeah,
that cracked me up.
Well, dude, this was like this scene. I was like, what? There's like dudes doing blow on topless chicks. And then you see, like if the girlfriends come in or whatever, the chicks, whatever, they're like, you fucking asshole, you're cheating or whatever. And then randomly, like, in that same scene, there's fucking used condoms just, like, hung up. And I was like, what?
Use them again later, I guess.
Why the fuck would you why would you just hang them up? They were like, they were just hanging on fucking rods. And I was like,
Oliver Stone's a total maniac. He's like, put some condoms up there.
Yeah, he's like, put them up there because people won't know that they had sex if there's not used condoms in the shot. I was like, what? But it was like LL Cool J and like another random dude. And I was just like, what is going on here? Are you married? I'm between marriages. What do you do for dick? I was like, oh my god, that was like one of the players or whatever, the guy that took like a fucking
what's his name, Animal
horrible
or something?
shit earlier.
Oh, Madman.
Animal.
He also
like plays drums.
He threw that alligator in the shower. That was pretty funny.
That I was thinking like, I'm assuming this was okay, but it was also like we've seen so many movies with animals that I'm like,
At this point, hopefully it was okay.
I put Jamie Foxx as being a right bastard. Also, like, Jamie Foxx pukes, and then they do, like, Jet Set Radio or Ocean's 11 soundtrack kicks in, where it's just, like, somebody's talking, and then it plays, like, a song. It's like, dude, this is totally of its time. Like, dude, these commentators for the fucking game sucked.
Well, that's Oliver Stone.
Jesus, man, he fucking sucks.
He's hamming it up big time.
Well, he didn't give a shit. He's like, he's rocking and rolling. He's shucking and jiving. He's flat out steaming this Magic Sunday. He's steaming beaming. It's like fucking Harrison Ford over here. Like it didn't give a fuck. I was like, it kind of like took me out of it because I was like, even if you're watching a game and nothing's interesting is happening, the people that are commentating are such like football nerds that they find everything interesting. So it's like they'll be commentating and be like, you know, even if it's like in baseball, like, you know, Marty and Joe, they'd be fucking having banter or they'd sit. And I guess it's
usually if something's really boring, they'll just talk about other stuff.
Right, but it's like in this, it was like they only talked about the game, but when they talked about it, it's like, so it's like he said that, but he said it in a way that it was literally just like a robot delivering the lines. So it's like, okay, this is obviously a script that was given to you that you read, so... And now that I know it's him, he must have he read his own shit and was like, wait a minute.
Like, it's my Shyamalan moment.
Right. Then Cameron Diaz shakes the hand of a man, hanging hog. I was like... So first we got, like, topless women, then we have a random black dude in the fucking locker room with his cock hanging out. Well, what more will happen? Much more.
This movie is rated R, restricted.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Well, cock's hanging out. Cock's been hanging out the whole time. Dudes in the shower dance contest.
Always fun.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx hitting on Cameron Diaz. She was like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, I don't date players.
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck? They throw a tiny gator. Yeah, that gator was like... They're like, fuck! No! What the fuck? Yeah, there's a part here that I was kind of like, what? Because like they have this kind of like meeting, but it's between like the new offensive or the new never mind, I was wrong. It wasn't what's his face wasn't the offensive coach.
Jim Brown is the defensive
coach.
coach.
And the new guy is the offensive coach.
Yeah.
And they're in there with Al Pacino and LL Cool J. And he says fucking something that I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, you know, you need to listen to the, whatever, and LL Cool J's like, you're the offensive coach, shut the fuck up. And I was like, what? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, you're the fucking owner, shut the fuck up. I'm like,
Yeah, there are a few things that are not quite clear about that. Like, it's not clear if Al Pacino's calling plays, but then sometimes the offensive coordinator says he's calling plays.
It seems kind of like,
goof that
well,
up,
I think like Cameron Diaz, it seems like maybe she like brought in this new guy to like help out, like kind of in a way, like be like, listen, in a subtle way, you're fucking this up, so we need this guy to kind of like take over and call these plays, because you see in a lot of these, Al Pacino will give them a play, and they're like, the players are like, this is shit, and so like Jamie Foxx changes it, and it always works, but it's also kind of like, if that's the case, why the fuck is Al Pacino running the team if his plays are shit?
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that's because he's resting on his laurels and just calling his old shit, and it's like, whatever. But like, I was like, man, LL Cool J needs some humble fucking pie. I mean, because he's fucking over here saying like, essentially to one of the dudes that's calling the plays and shit, like, shut the fuck up, I'm the one in charge. I'm like,
yeah, he's
what?
not a team player. He's only in it.
What are you talking about?
In it for the money.
But then like, he gives Jamie Foxx shit because he is like, you're not a team player, and I'm like, just because he doesn't want to run the plays that Al Pacino has or something, which is a problem. But it's like, apparently he has no respect for the new guy. So I'm like, this is all over the place with logic.
They could have fixed it if they brought the kid from Warriors of Virtue.
I was just thinking that he should have just
call
the plays.
a bootleg that didn't work.
Yeah. That was one thing where he was just like, it was a bootleg. He's like, I know what a bootleg is. He's like, you didn't do my play. Guy says Shark needs tests for his head, and James Woods as Dr. Harvey Mandrake again ignores the signs, and that kind of comes back in the end.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool because James Woods, I mean, he could have just been a stock evil character, but he makes arguments that are valid in some ways.
Well, at first you don't think so, but
Yeah.
then you kind of see, like, there's a part later once
he's not just a true
he
villain.
gets fired
for
being like a complete piece of shit all these years. Like, not a complete piece. He's like, fuck it. That the first kind of one of the first games where like the new doctor is takes over. Shark is like, he's like, there's no medical reason to give you any more drugs, and he's like, come on, doctor, please. He's like, give me some he essentially asked for like some more pain relief or whatever for his like, stuff, and he's like, when he asked for it, he like grins. Yeah, essentially it's like the most unsubtle thing in the well, not the most, but it's one of the, because he's like, doctor, come on. And that's actually kind of interesting because it's like, maybe that's how like he started out. Maybe James Woods was like on the up and up like this guy, but over the years like the players wore him down and stuff too, because it's like he's torn between doing the right thing or doing the right thing for the players or the wrong thing in general, but the right thing for the team possibly. So like you said, it's not exactly cut and dry. When you kind of see him here, it feels like it, but I feel like if they didn't have that scene with the new doctor, you wouldn't have really got that context as much. Like, it would have been like, James Woods is a complete piece of shit, but with that scene, it completely makes it like, oh, okay, so he probably, went through that same issue with the players.
But yeah, this was like the part he was born to play. It's like, I can't imagine anyone else like doing a better job.
James Woods like plays this character a lot in films where he's like, but he's great. So, but
then like as he leaves the movie, he tries to like pick up a cheerleader.
He becomes completely fucking racist. I'm like, holy shit. Jamie Foxx fucking rapping. This was like, so this was legit because Jamie Foxx can actually sing, like just in general, like even, and he did stand up before like this and everything before acting and all this stuff. So this is legit, but it was like one of the most, like, I was kind of like, okay, this, like, I've fucking seen a ton of fucking football players like try to do singing, and they have like zero fucking like coordination with that for whatever reason. Like, they're great on field, but then for some reason, like, when they do the Super Bowl shuffle, it's like when they had all the wrestlers do, like, that WrestleMania song, and it's like, how the fuck are you so bad at this?
Here we go. Touchdown on the very first.
Yeah, it's like everybody's just talking. But, like, it was cool that he rapped. It was just very, like, I was like, dude, this is so unbelievable that a fucking football player would... I could see him doing a thing where he's maybe doing kind of a rap just for, like, a couple seconds. But this, he does, like, a whole music video. And I'm like, okay, no way.
One of the cool things... Have you ever checked this out? Have you ever seen this? Whoa. Extra disc hidden in here. And one of the cool features was Jamie Foxx's audition tape that he sent in.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was sweet because it's basically him in his backyard with like a bunch of friends. And he's in a football uniform, like, and he's throwing passes and he looks awesome. And he made up the Willie Beeman song like for the audition.
Oh, that's cool.
And I forget what else. But those, I guess that was the cool thing about it. It was like he had that song already like, made up. But I was impressed by how he was chucking the ball like 100 yards.
Reminds me of like
play.
John Cena sitting in his like original tape or whatever, where he's like wrestling and jumping off a roof, and then he's like rapping and doing all this other stuff. And it's like he had so many different skills. You know, it's like Jamie Foxx in this, where it's like, well, I mean, if acting doesn't work out, he's got his music career. If that doesn't work out, he's got stand-up. It's like, you know, he's got so many different things he can do. Which kind of is... I know he does it in his films, but, like, I would... If I was him, I'd be like, man, fucking... can I just do the soundtrack for every one of these fucking songs? Or for every one of these movies? What? Can I do a soundtrack for every song?
And he did a commentary for this.
Nice.
Which wasn't great because there's huge pauses that go on forever. But when he does talk, it's very interesting. He said he kind of influenced the music choices.
Nice, yeah.
Which we both complimented.
Is the opposite of what happened in Blade, where he sent all those music choices in and they ignored him. And he was like, everybody's like, why is this soundtrack so weird? It's like 3 concussions in 5 months. I was like, Jesus. Jim Rome kissing Jamie Foxx's ass. He's essentially like trying to become like a fucking black man on TV to fucking Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx is like, he's like, I'll just take a rain check on the fist bump.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is the saddest fucking shit I've
He's
seen.
a pathetic character.
Yeah. Sad Dunk wanting to actually be with the lady for real. And she's like, I'm a hooker.
So the opposing coaches were played by like NFL legends. Did you notice Dick Butkus was one of them?
Dick Butt Kiss?
Yeah.
I don't really
a hard F-bomb.
I don't really know any of these people like from past and stuff. Like Travis was like, yeah, this guy was in it, and this guy, and I was like, ugh. I've heard of him before. It's not like something where I'm like, who the you know, but like I have no clue what he did in the past. But like that makes sense because none of them were like, you know, given fucking like, you know, Shakespearean speeches. They were just like reacting and stuff. There was one guy that was like, when something bad happened, he was like, the guy's like, gotcha. And I was like, what? Yeah, he's like, fuck you. But he didn't say that. He said the other F-bomb. Jamie Foxx's team doesn't help him and he gets reamed on the field. So I have a question for you. Has this ever happened? IRL? Where like the team essentially like turns their back on him fucking and he
probably
like the quarterback and the quarterback just gets fucking destroyed.
Maybe not in the pros, but I'm sure it's happened at some point.
Right. I was just like, Jesus. Because like a thing gets around that like something that we're like, they're like Jamie Foxx, you know, or not Jamie Foxx. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck about the team and all this stuff, and he thinks he can do everything himself, and that's when they all kind of start rallying together, like, okay, he thinks he can do it himself, fuck him. Mm-hmm. James Woods gets caught faking test results. Essentially, this is like the part in the movie where you're like, yeah, no shit, because he's been kind of like making it so that the, you know, like, all these people like Shark and Cap can go back out and play.
Yeah. But
it's essentially to their fucking detriment. It's like, dude, these people could have fucking died on the fucking field.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Dennis Quaid tells his wife he's going to retire. And
Dude.
she's like yells at him and says he's not allowed.
I was like, what a fucking piece of shit.
Lauren
I was
Holly. She's great in
like, good
this.
lord, what a bitch.
He turns into like a little boy.
Yeah.
Like getting yelled at by
I thought
mommy.
he was going to kill her or something. Because, like, he just kind of was like, fuck. And I was just like, dude.
And in the movie, his house in real life is Dan Marino's house. I thought that was
That's
pretty
funny, yeah. I mean, it's not laugh out loud funny, but it's interesting, I guess. Yeah, I was like, wow, that was hilarious. What a joke. Yeah, that was, like, fucked up when that happened, because I was just like, Jesus, man. Like, I don't know.
There's a lot going on in this movie, I'd say.
Yeah. He could have made you GM, Tony, but he didn't. You want to know why? Because he knew you didn't have the guts to do it after he was gone. It's true, Tony. You got old. And then, like, Dunkachino essentially, like, fucking turns into, like, a fucking baby. He's, like, seen wars, essentially. He was like, fuck. Because he finally got told the truth. And he was like, fuck. And he rips up the hooker's number. He's turning over a new leaf.
Yeah.
Al says, we're in hell right now, gentlemen. And I just lost it, cracking up. I was like, what the fuck?
And you gotta claw your way
Yeah,
out.
he's like,
claw with your fingernails.
we're in hell right now, gentlemen. And I was like, what? He's like, I am in hell, literal hell.
So that speech is amazing, like we talked about.
Yeah.
One thing I just wanted real quick, the dinner scene earlier in the movie, it's editing back and forth with like Ben-Hur clips from the Cherry.
Right,
Place.
yeah.
What do you think about that?
Sorry. You're like, what do you think about that?
Like now.
Well, it's definitely something that starts, it's like when he comes in, they're playing, the movie's on in the background and stuff. So it's like, definitely interesting. It's like, okay, there's about to be like some conflict here for sure. Because, I mean, before that happens, you know the stance of like Jamie Foxx in this. This is like the height of him thinking he's like the greatest person that's ever played football. And he even comes in and says, are you going to yell at me, coach, or whatever? And it's like, Al Pacino's not going to yell at him. He wants to, like, tell him some, like, life lessons here, but he ends up yelling at him because he fucking doesn't listen to any of this. But it's definitely, like, it edits back and forth because it's, like a struggle between two men with opposing viewpoints, like...
Yeah. And also, football is the modern-day gladiators.
There you go.
I think it could be seen as pretentious, and maybe it is, but I don't know. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't my favorite scene in the movie. It was good, but, like, I thought there's not, like, it's definitely, I think it's probably the best acting in this film between two actors at the same time.
Yeah.
I think Al Pacino's speech at the end is, like, the best thing in this movie.
I agree.
But, like, as far as between two actors, I mean, Jamie Foxx and Al Pacino, I mean, you definitely see, like, Al Pacino and Jamie Foxx are on the same level in this scene for sure. It's like, holy shit. Because Jamie Foxx is really good. It's showing, like, holy shit, he's got it.
Maybe it could have been even better if Oliver Stone had cut out all the nonsense bullshit and like, just made a normal scene between two of the best actors.
Or a normal
out there.
movie.
But this time I thought, that Inch's speech,
Yeah.
it happens at exactly 2 hours into a 2.5 hour long movie.
Right.
And I thought the movie could have just ended there when they run out of the locker room.
Yeah,
Would have
into
been
a
just
meat
as
grinder.
good. And lost.
To the meat grinder. They die.
I don't know if you necessarily need all the last game and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 15 different endings in this film. It's like they just will not
won't end.
fucking. It's like he had all these.
The critical
ideas
scene
he
happens
puts-
after the credits and start
Right.
rolling. It's like, dude.
I almost turned it off, and then I was like, oh, they actually have stuff going on in the credits. I keep watching, and then something happens, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, hey, Captain, I want to start a fucking team called the fucking Avengers. I'm like, what? But I have just a tiny bit of the speech here that I kind of want to talk about. This is probably my favorite part because it is about football, but it's like it's like about life. So I'll go ahead and say it. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's just a part of life. But you only learn when you start losing stuff, and you find out that you find out life's this game of inches. So is football. So it's like pretty much, he's essentially, you know, like you pretty much get your victories where you can get them.
The inches we need are all around us.
Right. And then he like bends over and the team creams him. He's like, the inches I need are right here. No, he doesn't say that. He's like, Al does Albuquerque. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, and you don't quite catch it. And like you said, the inches we need are all around us. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I could go through the whole thing here. That's going to make the difference between winning and losing. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you going to do? What if they would just be like, fuck you, and they just left?
It's like crickets.
Yeah. Then they play the Mortal Kombat theme, but it's not Mortal... It's like the original version without, like, the good shit in it. As the old players are all rattled and have Warriors of Virtue vision, it plays a song talking about, I'm all used up. I'm like, could this be any more on the nose here? Like, come on. Like, I'm all used up. I'm Dennis Quaid's Cap, and I can't see straight. I'm Shark, and I'm fucking dying on the field. Charlton Heston, though, he makes his appearance. Your mother looks great. I was like, this is fucking weird. Like you said, though, it's like they blew their wad, and then they do like 10 more things after it, and I'm like, Bobby Knight over here, he's like throwing shit around and going nuts. I laughed at this line to no end from fucking Dunkachino to Jamie Foxx. And I probably shouldn't have thought this was funny, but if you see their arms shaking or their asses up in the air, that means they're coming. And I was like, what? Come on. Like, they're like, their butts are shaking. They're like, yeah. So I guess we could go ahead and talk about probably the most ridiculous thing in this fucking film. The fucking eyeball popping out scene.
I wonder how it even happened. Did someone gouge it out?
I didn't see any.
Did someone just
nothing.
It just like popped out? Like,
I could have sworn that like when I was watching it, they don't even show what happens, and he's literally like, my eyes out. And I'm like, so this has just become a fucking Adam Sandler film now? Like, what is going on?
Like Monty Python.
Right. What is the story behind this? Do you know? Did they talk about it on the commentary, or?
No, it was Oliver Stone trying to be extreme, man.
But like, no, I mean, like, what is the fucking idea here? I don't get this. Like, it's because you said in the theatrical cut it wasn't in, right? But the director's cut is shorter, so they cut shit out, but then put this in.
Yeah, basically he trimmed a ton of the football action, believe it or not, so it was even worse. Like, but then added more scenes, like the scene where Al Pacino asked Elizabeth Berkley to marry him wasn't in. So he added that back, and then he put in this eyeball thing that's so ridiculous.
I'm on the. It's like, this is so ridiculous, and like it's like it stands out so weirdly from the rest of the film. Like, the film is weird, but like this is like almost like obviously the gore wouldn't be in like an Adam Sandler film, but it's like the way it's shown is like played for comedy. And it's not like the guy's eye kind of pops out and it's just like they have to kind of put it back in. The whole thing
is
like,
laying on the ground.
Yeah, detaches stem and all from his fucking head. And some guy like fucking puts it in a box, and I'm like, can you reattach an eyeball once it's been ripped out completely like that? But like, I was just kind of like, what is the like this whole thing?
Yeah.
Where Al Pacino's like,
and I'm like, that coming.
You couldn't fucking see from that fucking far away an eyeball on the field. And one of the commentaries is like, it's not good. And I'm like, understatement of the fucking century. Like, what are you talking about? A dude just...
That's not good.
Would a game have kept going like that quickly if fucking a dude's eye fucking popped off?
Probably.
Sadly. I mean, that one dude fucking almost died on the fucking field at the Bengals game, and they were like, eh. I mean, I guess they weren't sure how that was going on, but...
Yeah.
But still, this is like, essentially they carted him off and he was instantly back. So, I mean, I guess I could believe it because NFL wanted that game to keep going. So, love to see Dennis Quaid on the sidelines giving advice to Jamie Foxx. Kind of wish that was like the whole movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was like really cool. Like when he was on the headset, like kind of like guiding him and stuff. I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like, I kind of wish that this had happened earlier, but
Like Al said, they finally became a team for that second half.
after the whole film's over.
And then they lost.
Yeah. Shark makes a tackle, and he's just dead with arms folded over, like he's in a coffin. I was like... It's like, they've already done this once, and they do it again, and it's like, I'm gonna laugh at it. Like, come on. And then he's just like, he lives, and I was like, thank God. But I was just like, okay. What'd you think about the American Godzilla font in the end credits? I was like, okay.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about, so the final play of the game,
Yeah.
it all comes down to 4th and 1.
Right.
It's a game of inches.
Like
But then
4
one of the
seconds.
weirder things happens. The sound drops out, and you hear like this, like whispering.
Yeah.
And then these crickets start coming in. I'm like, why? It's so weird.
That reminded
how did
me
they
of
even
like
come up with this
the
stuff?
shit in Star Wars when they threw that bomb in space and like all the sound goes away and then shit comes back.
And it just
I was
turned
like,
into night somehow,
Right.
but it wasn't night. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone's is out of his mind. That's all I can say.
Also, like you said, after the credits are pretty much over, fucking Pacino comes up and gives this speech and is just like, I'm leaving him, and then actually I'm gonna go fucking work for another team and I'm stealing your best player, Jamie Foxx. And I was like, okay. And everyone's like, you bastard. Like, they
Did
think
it
it's
again,
great.
T.
And I'm like, Cameron Diaz would have been like screaming. Instead, she's like, yee. And I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't need any of that stuff. Like
it also, like,
it was fine. I guess.
I was kind of like, what's the fucking point of this? Like, they're not making a sequel. Like, okay, like, you know, he fucking walks out, and I was just like, he's smoking a cigar, and they're like, that's it, that's the end of the film. And I'm like, actually, the end of the film should have just been like, there's many times when it could have ended before this, it would have been better. Like you said, the speech, even if they did the game, the part where like Jamie Foxx is talking to him and stuff, and he's like, I'm not sure, you know, if I'm ready. And
Oh
all
yeah,
that stuff.
his last line of this movie is "I'm scared," which
Right.
is very cool,
Right,
and
which
different.
I'm like, oh, that would be cool to just kind of, because he looks over and Al Pacino Batmaned him and essentially like is completely gone from like
He's like-
existence. Right. And I was like, that would be a cool place to end it too. But no, like the worst spot they ended it was where they ended it. So I feel like there was a lot of like issues with like him deciding when he wanted to actually like what he wanted to do with this film with certain things, because it's
Well,
like,
it's funny because I listened to his commentary, which his commentaries are always really good.
yeah.
But the whole time he kept like complaining. He was like, "It was so hard to make this movie. It was the hardest movie I ever." It's like, you made it hard with all
Right.
your bullshit, dude. Like, you didn't know when to stop.
I don't feel bad for people that fucking like do something stupid and then fucking complain that fucking they have to live with the consequences.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, he literally like, I just picture him like, "No, I need to keep working on this movie." They're like, "No,
yeah,
stop,
he ate
it's
like
done."
a tray of brownies and it was like, I have a stomach ache. Okay, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm not trying to be like fuck Oliver Stone, but I'm just like, this was like, what the fuck was he thinking? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
with some of this stuff.
but having said all
Some
that,
of it was
like,
great, but some of it was like, what the fuck?
I'm into almost all of it. But I do recognize how like completely insane and baffling it is.
Yeah.
I'm
I
out.
agree.
I'm out of notes. That's
Yeah,
all
I don't
got.
have anything else to say either. Ever. I quit.
It's quite a ride. There's
Yeah.
nothing quite like Any Given Sunday.
That's true. So,
And I love this movie. It's a 9.95.
nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed the experience. For
Yeah, I like
its
talking about
ups
it
and downs.
for sure. I'd probably do like a 6 or a 7. Like I'd probably give it a 9 if fucking there wasn't.
It was a normal movie.
Well, if they didn't ruin it with all the stupid fucking editing. Watching this, I was just like, man, whoever edited this film needs to be killed. Which is annoying because, like, there was a lot of good stuff in this, and the ensemble cast is so good, but, like, this is by far not even close to my favorite football film we watched, so, or that I've seen. Which sucks because, I mean, it's got a lot of good stuff in it. It's just kind of like, yeah, like...
Nothing will top Last Boy Scout.
Yeah, that's really good. That movie's good. Which, it kind of sucks there's not a lot of football in it, but, like, the football that's shown, at least you know what's going on. It's not, like, a bunch of random bullshit. Which sucks
You
because
can totally tell when what Damon Wayans throws a football like into the stratosphere to nail that guy in the face.
Which totally could happen. The stuff when they do show like the football action in this, and you can tell what's going on, it's good.
There's definitely some cool stuff in there, for sure. No doubt.
And like the part where like Cap essentially does what Jamie Foxx did earlier in the movie and like
helicopters
right over into the end zone. That's cool and stuff. And Jamie Foxx is like, fuck yeah, because that's the part where he's kind of become part of the team, and he's like, you did it, old man. That's awesome and stuff. So there's
that.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? This movie gets like a 8.95. This movie's good. It's just I'd take it 1 point away because of the dumbass.
Oh, that's totally fair.
Editing.
I won't argue with you on that one.
I'm like 0. Actually, now that we're talking about it, I like this movie.
We forgot to mention the one monsoon game that would have made Tony Scott
Jesus
proud.
Christ.
There was
fucking
like
move over Noah over here. Jesus Christ, get off the fucking ark. I was like, come on, man. Holy shit. Yeah, this was... Yeah. I mean, there's just so much
in this movie. I think that's what I like about it. It's like
I like it, but
10
it's just,
movies stuffed into one.
It's a little too long sometimes. I'm like...
It's a full meal.
Yeah.
And dessert. So, I want to hear about the next episode.
Oh, okay. I was so engrossed in this. So, next episode, I want to kind of do something that I've never seen a film before in this genre. I'm not sure if you have, maybe you have, but I want to do 2 films based on an idol, not like a fucking idol, but like a Japanese idol. Do School in the Crosshairs, and movie in the same year. What's it called? Machine Gun or Sailor Suit and Machine Gun. So it's, it's stupid. I didn't even write down the name of the person that's fucking. Maybe you can find it real quick for me on IMDb. Japanese idol.
Nobuhiko Obayashi? Or Taku Miyamura?
No.
School in the Crosshairs?
Yeah, it's the woman. Is it not?
The director?
No. That's the thing with IMDb. I guess I could look it up since I'm fucking right here. And
we got no internet.
I'm a fucking invalid, apparently.
I have no idea what this is. I have never heard of
either one of them.
No.
Well, the good thing is, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think they're both on
YouTube.
Well, no, one of them's on what's it called, Tubi or whatever. I think it's Hiroko Yaku Shimara, because she's like an idol or whatever. She has like soundtracks and stuff, but like she did this in the same year, the exact same year or whatever. Sailor Suit and Machine Gun, where it's like about like a Yakuza gang or whatever that she has to kind of lead, and then the other one's about like a school where aliens start invading it. So they're very, very different films, but the thing that they have in common is that I think this is literally her first kind of acting thing, and I kind of got this Sailor Suit and Machine Gun one on like a sale that they were having on Arrow or whatever, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool, what should I pair with it? And then I looked this other one up and was like,
wow,
okay. I just think it's kind of interesting, but I've never watched an idol film before, so I'm sure there'll be like a song or two that she's sung that's, I think one of the songs and one of them was like a chart topper for her back in the day, so we'll see. This either could be good or this could be fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Coming straight from scene to acting.
You're blowing my mind on this one once again. I'm like,
it's not often when we have a movie that you hadn't even heard of before, so
I haven't even heard of the genre.
Yeah, so it's like I wanted to kind of get something that was out there that I guess you would never even thought. So
cool.
Yes. That'll be next week.
Until next time.
Yes.
Bye.
We have some footage for you to watch.
Okay, I'll take a look at some footage here.
Prosperous communities. Wichita! Or in Cheyenne! Abilene!
Damn it! This buddy's broken! This thing sucks! Oh, popcorn's ready.
Oh! Oh! Find this.
You just put it in the right spot, according to alphabetical order.
Shut up! Oh, come on. That was a nice one. I'm out here. Uh-oh! Somebody. I'm homeless and I need money. Please. I'm dying here. Oh, Jesus. Kick your fucking ass!
Mike!
I want you off the show, you fucking prick. Ain't even my fucking friend. In fact, let me give you a piece of advice. You better get your ass on a different podcast, baby. Because you ain't shit on this microphone. You understand that? You ain't got the nuts. Kiss my ass, wussy.
Wow. I mean, I can only think of one thing to say. I loved it! This ruled!
I loved it. No notes.
Freeze frame!
Excuse me. Hey, Mike.
Oh, man.
Fucking first thing, I blew it. Don't even know my
Get it right, your own
name.
Sucks.
That ruled!
Now do I loved it. No notes.
Something you would say. I love it. I loved it. No notes.
I guess we'll do like this and then
Or wait, yeah, I guess.
Are you ready?
It's gonna be weird for one of us, I think. Okay.
That's gonna be awesome. Your Oscar moment.
Get an Oscar for saying help me.
Action.
Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help me! I don't know.
I think there are some winners in there.
Okay, and then Matt, I can't breathe. I love how that's the funniest. Hey Matt, want to get pissed off?
No.
Why not?
You gotta do a revenge cross chop.
What do you think of this?
Do a couple more.
Dude, this is like the stupidest one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 9.95. Emotion is feeling so high. 9.95. In overdrive. Put your body in overdrive. 9.95.